Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and in the Patreon group today, we're going to talk about a wild, I kind of believe this theory, wild XRP theory that could ultimately supercharge the price. It's going to be interesting. Go to daixrp.com to join through the Patreon, or you can click this join button right below any of my YouTube videos if you'd rather join through YouTube. Check this out. One thing I haven't said about Caleb and Brown, I don't think, they're geared for high net worth clients, because high net worth clients, they need a person they can talk to.
Caleb Brown has been around for 8 years. We've been helping over 30,000 clients globally. The thing that makes Caleb and Brown's client experience unique for high net worth individuals is that we're able to assign a relationship manager to every single client. That means throughout your whole crypto journey, you've got a single point of contact taking care of your portfolio, understanding your needs, answering your questions, tailoring a strategy that meets you at where you are at.
Yes, sir. That's why I opened an account. Go to xrpwealth589.com and it will forward you to my page on Caleb and Brown. All you got to do is click the sign up today button. Check this out. Looks like Paul Barron, who is coming to XRP Las Vegas, he's wanting to know who are the top XRP community members that will be attending XRP Vegas event that we should meet up with. Crypto, of course, will be at the Bitcoin event. What is it? Hashtag crypto. I guess he's saying he'll be at the Bitcoin event. Yeah, Bitcoin Las Vegas is there the same week. It's for 3 days, and then the next 2 days are XRP Las Vegas. Paul Barron's going to have a booth set up there to interview any of you that would like to be interviewed. How about them apples? Go to xrplasvegas.com and get your tickets. The sales are accelerating, because they accelerate every year as we get closer, and you might want to hurry up. Okay, check it out. The market's kind of boring now. XRP got on up to 230 something ish, 30. I don't know if it got to 235. Well, let's look. Let's see what XRP did. Looks like it had gotten on up. Let me look. How do you do this? I don't do this often. This is the 1 day. Okay, so it got as high as around 235 ish. Then it came back down. I think it was bumping up against the resistance from what I saw some of these chart guys talking about. Now this is where it gets interesting, folks. Listen close. This is a crypto tax guy that's on with Thinking Crypto.
I'm curious, with the repeal of SOB 121 and this favorable environment, are you seeing demand from banks? And I'm talking the big banks.
Yes. Yeah. That was a major barrier for a lot of the banks, and so we are, actively involved in discussions with a lot of the major GSIPs. They are wanting to offer various types of products to their customer base, and I think to start right, a lot of it's going to be basic custodying, basic buys and sells. Right, you're seeing ETFs. You might see. A lot of those ETFs were kind of focused just on Bitcoin or just on Ethereum. I think you probably might start seeing some more kind of diversified multi-coin type of operations. But yeah, the banks are excited. And because they are, again, it's kind of this general sentiment. I think, we're hearing a lot of whispers around this capital gains exemption altogether for made in America coins. All I've heard is whispers on that, right. Nothing substantive, so don't quote me. But I think there's some enthusiasm around that potentially being in this bill.
Made in America crypto. Who did Donald Trump put at the top of the list? XRP, made in America. Are we about to get tax-free XRP?
As well, and if that happens, I mean, you're gonna see a huge ramp up, right? And so it's I think the banks and the the digital everybody's kind of preparing for this.
Uh-oh, folks. Remember this? This was put out back in April of earlier this month. This is from Good Morning Crypto. That's Paul Barron, who is coming to XRP Las Vegas. And this guy, let's see, it doesn't say what this guy's name is that he's interviewing, but listen to what he says.
So US-based crypto companies, now Trump is out there saying, hey, maybe we could eliminate or at least give better tax breaks when it comes to capital gains if you're invested in crypto companies that are based here in the US. So it goes back to that pro-America, make America great again theme that he's going for. How would that play out in a perfect world for a crypto investor?
Well, and Paul, you nailed it. This is part of his agenda to get people investing, building, buying, manufacturing, all the above in the United States. Mm-hmm. And so one way to do that is to say, hey, if you're a crypto investor, buy some tokens that are based out of the United States. And when you go to sell it, after 12 months, by the way, capital gain is after a 12-month hold. So you traders don't get, gleamy-eyed here. But after I hold this token for at least 12 months, I might get a reduced capital gains rate. Mm-hmm. And that's going to help. And why would he do that? Because it stimulates the economy in the United States. It creates jobs in the United States. What extent? But that's the theory. And I think in a perfect world, it'd be exciting. I just hope that the tokens I like are, going to be here in the U.S.
Yeah. Always
number one, my investors out there, you invest in what you know is best. Who cares if I can save between 15 to 20% on the tax bill, tax rate? I want to buy what makes freaking sense. Then it happens to align with a U.S.-based opportunity, great. But let's not chase that. Let's chase what we know and is going to make us money, and then hopefully they coincide.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the point, is you look at some of the projects that we talk about here on the show quite a bit. Most of them are, quite a few of them are based here in the U.S., even though it seems as though there's a lot of the blockchain companies now vying for the idea to make sure that Trump and the administration knows they're a U.S.-based company, Ripple. Mm-hmm. You got guys over at XRP, obviously, and then places, projects like Solana, Avalanche, et cetera, that have kind of gone. Hedera is another one.
There you go, folks. Look at this. You're about to see some shoes drop in this whole trade business. Treasury Secretary Besant says India might be one of the first trade deals we'll sign. And then you've got this. IBM's going to invest $150 billion in U.S. economy over 5 years. It's all, the money's coming back to America, folks. And then Crazy Michael Saylor has acquired 15,355 Bitcoin for $1.42 billion. I'm assuming he borrowed money to do that. The digital asset interest, yield on your digital assets, is coming to America. Nexo, who that's what they do. I think they had left the U.S. back during Gary Gensler's reign. Nexo announced its move back to the U.S. at an exclusive event with Donald Trump Jr. And then you've got this. Coinbase is eyeing 4 to 8% annualized Bitcoin returns on its Bitcoin yield fund that it's doing. And even though they told us that Bitcoin was going to replace gold, it looks like it just ain't so, folks. Like I told you 1,000 times, because Tether has purchased 7.7 tons of gold to support XAUT token. Is that tokenized gold? I think so. And then here's another one of my little theories that I've had for a long time, is that the X platform and as well as the X platform, as well as Starlink, SpaceX, that all of that was involved in digital assets. Most likely XRP and XLM is somewhere, I've said for a long time, I think they're going to put nodes on those Starlink satellites, but they're also going to use those satellites for financial inclusion. There are two companies that have been yelling the words financial inclusion and banking the unbanked for the whole time I've been in crypto. That is Stellar and Ripple, those two. And we know that Stripe is the back end payments of the X platform, and they're about to come out with X money. We know that Twitter, formerly Twitter, was the first place that the XRP tip bot was. It was the first tipping mechanism on the Twitter platform. We also know that early investors in Stripe, who many of the early investors in Stripe were PayPal Mafia guys, those guys were the first investors in Stellar. Stripe was. They've got 2% of the XLM. We also know that the Founders Fund, which had a bunch of PayPal Mafia members, was one of the first investors in Ripple before it was Ripple, when it was called OpenCoin. So here it says Starlink just got stronger. Space-based cell service is coming for dead zones. I will bet you dimes to donuts that Elon Musk is going to put out the X phone, and it's going to have the X app built into it, and you're going to be able to make phone calls using Starlink instead of having Verizon and all these things. And I think that app is going to be the everything app. It's going to be like the WeChat of the United States. And I believe it's going to incorporate, look at this, what a coincidence. Here's Elon Musk's logos, these two right here. And there's Stellar and there's X for XRP. There are no coincidences in my opinion. Liquidity works with roughly a 3-month lag in crypto. So if liquidity bottomed in January, crypto should bottom in April. That's essentially what we observed. And the ongoing rise in global M2 is now evoking a powerful Bitcoin rally. So powerful, it could push prices into new high territory. While not certainly, Bitcoin now looks, it could hit 140 to 160 before this move exhausts itself. And make no mistake, it won't just be Bitcoin. So look at from smoke, the timing of stablecoin regulation in the US couldn't be more coincidentally perfect. And remember, there are no coincidences. With the crypto bull market heating up, regulatory clarity is arriving just in time to unlock the next phase of massive adoption. Stablecoins already poised to become dominant cross-border rail will now be fully legitimized just as institutional players flood the market. Clear path for stablecoin use. You get the picture. And then JP Morgan had put this out. Our best estimate is that the market size for stablecoins has the potential to grow to 500 to 700 billion over the coming years. And I think it's going to be even more than that. Okay, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com, which is the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click the join button right below this YouTube video. We're going to present the wild theory of how XRP very well could be supercharged in the midst of all the other good news. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family, get ready for a wild theory. We're not allowed to talk about wild theories, by the way. Here we go.